What's going on, Central Florida? Are you priced out or are you just sitting out? That's right, you got it, Orlando. Darryl Dziedzic here, your Central Florida Orlando realtor. The question of the conversation of today is this: are you priced out or are you merely sitting out? So today I'm going to direct this towards the first-time home buyers. That means the people who have not quite purchased, but don't tune out if you are sitting in a home, because guess what? At some point within 5 to 7 years, you probably will sell, and you're going to need this information too, because the market will shift in 5 to 7 years. So are you priced out or are you sitting out? First-time home buyers in Orlando, if that's you, guess what? You probably feel like you've been priced out. And if it feels that way, you're not crazy. How do I know this? Well, single-family homes today feel further out of reach than they did a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago, 2022, 2021. Actually, before that it was 2022, the prices just kind of skyrocketed. If you look at the pricing in Orlando, right, the median price is $400,000 for a single family residence, and a condo would be anywhere between $360,000 360 as the median price. That means that half the homes are priced over that. Other homes, the other half, are priced under that. So what is the difference between sitting out and being priced out? And if you don't know the difference, this is why you want this video, because you might just be doing the wrong thing. So let's look at this. And when you're doing the wrong thing in real estate, you're losing time. And time is ching ching money, right? You get appreciation, paying yourself back, all that good stuff for another video. But today, let's get some clarity. Like I said, right now in Central Florida, we talked about the median home prices, so I'm not going to revisit that. And you are looking at some crazy things. Prices didn't crash. Interesting. Rates actually went up. Insurance increased, and the HOA scrutiny tightened in some communities. So what used to feel reachable now feels stretched for the average first-time home buyer. Here's what I see happening. A lot of the first-time home buyers are not aggressively shopping. Case in point, I ran into some old clients a couple of years ago. I got them into a property, first home. They've now since expanded their family. Yeah, right? Awesome. And in a casual conversation at church picnic, we were talking about that, and they said, wow, we're kind of getting a little big for where we're at. And I asked them, well, you want to start looking? There was hesitation. First-time home buyers are not aggressively shopping, and they aren't making offers, and they are quietly waiting. So the emotion that goes underneath all of that is not laziness. It's not because of laziness. A lot of times, the quiet indecision, there's a little bit of shame in there. There's a little bit of fear of making the wrong move. And that's all human being. That's all part of being human. So what do we need for that? We need clarity. Being priced out. Let's talk about being priced out. Being priced out is merely mathematical. Now, I will say this. Was not a math major. Didn't really particularly appreciate math until I got into business. I was more of an English literature. I was more of a history guy, but math had its place. Now, if they would have talked about percentages a little bit more, they would have talked about how money works, I definitely would have paid attention. But for some reason, as much as I like Mr. Pythagoras and the Pythagorean theorem, it wasn't cutting it for me, although I did like geometry over algebra. Tell me what you like in the comments. Algebra or geometry? I don't know. But and you got to use a little bit of both in real estate. So let's talk about that clarity, being priced out, right? Being priced out is mathematical. It means that even with proper budgeting, it means that even with a lender review, it means that with strategic property selection, right? I'm picking the right property. It's not crazy, right? The payment simply doesn't work. Or as the kids say in modern parlance, the math ain't mathing. Numbers aren't adding up. And that's okay, right? That's real. Maybe the numbers aren't working for the stability you have or need. Real, objective, and it's not emotional. But what I see more often than that, what I see is that people who have not fully tested their options. And that is where we have a little bit of problem. Choosing to sit out looks very different. Choosing to sit out sounds like this. Oh, I'm just going to wait until the rates drop. I'm going to wait till the prices come down. I don't want to overpay on my house. Maybe next year. And what's interesting about that is that's not real hard math, right? No one's looking at when prices might come down or by how much. No one is looking at the interest rates and following that. They're just hearing this stuff, and this is what the decision they're making based on what that feels like. So there's no actual underwriting. There is no exploration of historical data of rates. There is no debt to income ratio looking at. There's no look at where they can qualify. How much can I buy if I can at this time? It's just, I don't want to deal with that. It's all emotional. No serious down payment breakdown. Basically, there's no plan. So it's not that they're priced out. It's just that they're uncertain. And in their uncertainty, they default to inaction because inaction feels safer than making a decision. So let's talk about this. This is about affordability and trajectory. Whether you're getting into a condo, whether your first home is going to be a single family residence, whatever it is, let's talk about that. Every market cycle forces first-time home buyers to answer one hard question. What can I afford now that'll move me forward in life? What can I afford now that'll move me forward in life? Not what do I want to buy, not what would I prefer to live in ideally, or I see a lot of this. Well, my parents have this house, so I should be buying it at this age, even though the parents had 20, 30 years to build their wealth. They're living in a completely different house they first started. They need to ask themselves these questions. What step will increase my position? What step will increase my equity position? What step will increase my wealth building, my net worth position? Because ownership isn't just about property. Ownership is about the big word equity. It's about increasing net worth. There's a phrase, not a word. It's about stability, right? What do people think stability? We're not moving. No, let's talk about stability of payment predictability. I love this one, right? When you do the math and you strategically plan on what you're getting, you run your amortization table, and you know what your monthly payment's going to be. And the interesting thing is your interest actually will go down. Your payment may stay the same, but you're going to be paying down your interest if you pay a little bit more on your mortgage each month. Over time, you can save money. But if you rented for 30 years, you're actually losing money because your rents could increase, and you don't know by how much. So stability is huge. You are actually in the driver's seat of your mortgage payment. It's a forced savings, right? Think of mortgage as a forced savings because it goes back into your home. And historically, when you're home, prices of homes have gone up over time. Have there been dips? Yes, there have been dips. There have. Just like in the stock market, just like in any market, there's been, we're not going to really sell as much as we could. However, your probability of selling and making money on a home is 100% more than probability of selling a place that you rent. Let that sink in. I just made that up. So if the math works and you've stress tested it, you are not priced out, my friends. You are deciding whether to engage. So let's talk about the cost of sitting out. So if you sit out, your time compounds, your rents increase, your savings get spent, your lifestyle expands, prices adjust. Sitting out feels neutral, but it's not neutral. It's a decision with momentum. Now, that doesn't mean rush. It means to decide conscientiously. Decide consciously. Agency and urgency. That's those two things, right? I'm not asking you to be urgent. I'm not asking you to rush out there and pick up the phone and start trying to figure out how to buy something. I'm asking you to take agency, take ownership of yourself and your situation. Agency is this. It's like, you know what? I'm where I am and I'm going to run some numbers. I'm going to talk to a lender about where I'm at. I'm going to model 3 scenarios about what can I get into, maybe at different interest rates or different down payment rates right now. I'm going to understand what is the real ceiling of my purchase, and then really what is the real risk I'm taking on in this home ownership. But then you choose, right? And you wait strategically. You understand your real risk, but you're not drifting. That's the key. You're not drifting. You choose, and urgency doesn't mean panic. Urgency means you don't give time away casually. So if you are truly priced out of the market right now, that's information. If you don't know, you need information. You need clarity. Simple. We can build a 12 to 18 month plan, but you got to know where you're at. And if you're not priced out and you've been sitting out, then clarity will get you where you need to go. And that's probably the only thing that's standing between you and movement is clarity. So my friends, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Get clear. Slow down enough to get clarity. Because slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And if you ever want to talk it through, I'm easy to reach.